Hey friends!
We're in the Grampians.
You! The Grampians National Park is around 3 hours from Melbourne and is one of the top places to visit in Victoria, with some of the best hiking in the state, rugged mountains, waterfalls, beautiful sunrises and sunsets, a rich collection of Aboriginal rock art, and some gorgeous wildlife. Join us as we show you the best things to see and do in the Grampians National Park. Driving along the Western Highway from Horsham, the imposing ranges of the Grampians come into view. We turned off just after Dadswells Bridge and drove along a rough, unsealed road before spending our first night in the Plantation campground. This is a free camp, quite a large camp. The spaces aren't allocated, so you can just kind of pull up anywhere. There are some fire pits here, some picnic tables, some toilets. Nigel reports they're very smelly. The spaces aren't very level. We had to put the levelling blocks out. But yeah, it's really conveniently located, not too far from Halls Gap. We went into Halls Gap and got some information from the lovely staff at the visitor centre. The first highlight we wanted to see was the Pinnacle, but the weather had other ideas. Yeah, not the best day in the Grampians today. Bit of rain. Plan B, Nige.
Waterfalls and coffee.
Yeah, waterfalls and coffee. And then reassess.
Yeah.
After a quick downpour, the sun came out and we headed up to McKenzie Falls. The drive there is spectacular. Phase 1 of Nigel and Sue Dodge the Rain in the Grampians, McKenzie Falls. There are 2 walks you can do here. One goes down to the base of the falls and you have to go down and then back up 260 steps. And the other one goes to the lookout, which is 1.9 kilometres and quite a pretty flat walk. So we're going to do the steps first, and then we'll come back and do the walk to the lookout. Looks like Nigel gets out of doing a Nigel dive again.
Diving into a hot shower, I think.
No, look at that grey sky.
Currently I'm hiding behind this tree and Sue's
Hiding behind this rock, sheltering from the rain. Well, we definitely caught some rain here, Nige.
just a bit.
Such a beautiful waterfall.
Yeah, very majestical. And a slow, steady trudge up. Anyway, we'll have some lunch and then head for the lookout.
Nigel looked at the weather and discovered that it was going to rain, so we decided to postpone walking down to the next lookout, where I'm just having a little lie down in the van, and it's actually hailing. Look at this. Look at all those hailstones. So 1 minute it's hailing and the next minute it's sunny. Go figure with this weird Victorian weather. So we've come along here and gotten to the McKenzie Falls Lookout. So this is a nice, relatively flat, just under 1 kilometre walk down here. And we've got these incredible views over the waterfall. Then we drove out to the western side of the Grampians National Park to visit one of the Aboriginal rock art sites. We have arrived at the Namagij shelter. It's just a short 750 metre walk up to the rock art site from the car park. So the Aboriginal name for the Grampians is Garraword I hope I'm saying that right. The Namajid shelter is one of over 200 Aboriginal rock art sites around Garraword. Well, 200 that they've found. Only 5 of these are open for the public. This site features 16 white figures, and it's quite unusual in this area due to the fact that they've used these white pigments. And the name Namajid apparently means place of ghosts.
We just got majorly startled by. Yeah. I just about. He was right there.
Stood on his tail.
Wow.
We left the rock art site and continued along the dirt road, which just got worse. Look at this road, it's awful. It's just as well my phone has stabilisation, you guys, because like we're currently, how fast are we driving on?
We're going at 10k.
10k an hour. We also checked out Hollow Mountain. We'd heard this was a great hike with beautiful views, but we didn't expect it to be as challenging as it was. We've actually produced a whole film on this epic hike, so make sure you subscribe and check that one out next week. We're back in the van, and what better way to celebrate an awesome day
Being covered in all.
pizza night. We've just about finished our first pizza. The second one's in the oven. Mate, I've got to say, that was one of the best hikes we've ever done.
It was pretty hectic going.
Oh, I did have a little cry.
A little danger mouse.
I know, that one little section, there was a crux. We managed to dodge the rain for most of the day, didn't we?
Did well there. Thank you, Bureau of Meteorology Australia. That app worked really well. You see the squalls coming through, and and went with our walks accordingly. So we kind of did our hikes in between all the rain. It was good. Morning all.
We were supposed to have a sleep in this morning, but it didn't work because it was actually really cold last night.
4 degrees now.
4.
Well, 6 minus 2 normal.
It's very cold. We stayed last night in, this one is called the Smith's Mill campsite, site of a former sawmill. This is a really nice campsite. This is one of the paid campsites. So you do need to book your specific site and pay for it here.
Pretty sardine, you're pretty packed in, but
Yeah. There's a lot of tent sites, but there are a few specific camper van sites. So if you are staying here in a caravan or a camper van, make sure that you do book. So we're in site number 1, which is actually between sites 2 and 3, go figure. But yeah, so this morning we are going to head off to the Pinnacle. Well, there was no rain forecast for today, but it's looking very misty out there. Mountains are still hidden in the clouds there.
feeling good. You feeling good?
I'm feeling great.
Awesome. We'll geared up.
There are several trails to the Pinnacle, but we chose to hike from the Sundial car park, which is the closest start point. It's so nice coming through here in spring with all of the wildflowers out. There's so many different ones. It's just all so pretty. Nigel's miles back taking photos of flowers. Who would have thought?
Pretty big steps.
We're walking along this section here, and I was just saying to Nige, it's quite alpine.
Like
And-
alpine wildflowers.
Yeah.
Figure out where this rock is, developed from. Is it volcanic? But it's kind of hollow. It's similar.
Yeah, totally. Now he's got to get down.
Okay.
600 metres to go. We were just commenting how much this landscape here reminds us of part of the walk that we did in Kakadu on the Bark Sandstone walk. We went through that galleria.
There's about, the difference is about 30 degrees of heat.
Yeah.
And yet we're on the opposite side of the country.
Instagram versus reality. When we left the Sundial car park, we drove the one-way road down to rejoin the main road. This was a nice drive, but no more spectacular than the drive up to the Sundial car park. Look, Nigel, a brewery!
Yay!
All right, rock, paper, scissors to see if we go in.
That means we're going.
Yeah, I think we were going in regardless. Let's do it.
Right.
Paper Scissors Rock Brewery was opened in 2019 by a barista, photographer and an arborist. They have 8 beers on tap and the food there is really amazing too. Friends, we have had an awesome day in the Grampians today. Nigel's just cleaning up. We've just had some dinner. It's about 7:15. So this was an early dinner tonight. And
Not 10 o'clock.
Oh, not 10 o'clock, yeah. It's kind of been getting a bit ridiculous. We are now at a lookout called Reed's Lookout and we're going to check out the balconies. And from there, we want to watch the sunsets. We've got about a 15-minute walk. Let's put our boots on and get moving. So first let's check out the view from Reed's Lookout. Now this is really cool. You can drive straight up here, sealed road all the way. As you might be able to tell, not sure how the audio is, but it's super windy up here and freezing cold. And what's really cool is over on the other side of the lookout, there's more awesome views. And I'm pretty sure that this lake you can see is Lake Wartuk, something like that. So I'm making a hightail for the balconies. Nigel's still back at the lookout. I'm not sure if he'll wait there all the way till the sunset. It's a 1 kilometre walk. It's fairly flat. Rats, there's a fence. Not sure what's going on here, but oh my gosh, the light's really nice now. So, looks like there's a barrier here. We can't get to the actual balconies, but there's a lookout also. So sadly, the balconies lookout is not a great spot for the sunset. There are two sections to this lookout, and the better shot is from this top one, but you get all the railings from the other lookout in your shot. The perfect spot would be from the balconies. So this is the balconies down here. It looks a bit like a mouth. And you used to be able to get down and sit in there. You can see this little path just down here. And that's the ideal spot, but the safety police have stopped that with that big fence back there. Even though we couldn't get to the balconies, we still enjoyed a beautiful sunset from this spot. Up bright and early today, friends, before the sun, before first light.
Bright.
Hoping that we're going to get a good sunrise. Heading to Boroka Lookout, which is supposed to be the best spot for a sunrise.
Why the other one? To get our step
yes. By Reed's Lookout in the balconies, because we left the step there yesterday. Nigel just went for a look and he came back to the van saying he wasn't completely inspired. He would rather be looking out over the mountains, and from here we actually just get to look out over the valley. I was hoping to get a really nice misty shot over the valley. So we've come back to Reed Lookout, and this is exactly what I wanted to see. Beautiful light, misty valley. Here's our hot tip for sunrise at the Grampians. Come to Reed's Lookout. Don't walk to the balconies, just come to the Reed's Lookout. From here you actually get to see out across the valley, looking beautiful. And on the other side you can see the lake. This is spectacular. The Grampians Range runs north to south, and there's a beautiful scenic drive between Hall's Gap and Dunkeld. We did a loop by crossing over the range and into the Victoria Valley. While we were on this drive, our van passed a big milestone.
3 k's to go. 300,000, you little beauty. Good girl. What a good girl. 300. What a weapon.
Show our van some love by giving us a big thumbs up for this 300,000. I am back in Halls Gap, parked up just where we were a couple of weeks ago. Today I'm going to do one of the easier walks. It's out to a place called Venus Baths. I'm just leaving from the main car park in Halls Gap by the visitor centre. So if you're staying here in town, you leave from right here. And check that out already. It's epic, hey? So you can actually do this Venus Baths walk as a loop. After leaving the car park, you then walk across this little bridge, but there appears to be a gate. Let me check this out. It's just a wildlife protection gate. It is classed as an easy walk, so it's just this gravel and quite flat. What I'm loving about this walk is the hikes that Nigel and I did were up to high points, so you're looking out from the Grampians, but on this hike you're looking at the Grampians. I returned to the Grampians as a guest of Tiny Away and stayed in one of the tiny houses in the Tiny Escape Grampians Edge Park. This looks comfortable. Nice queen-size bed, aircon, which is on, so it's really comfortable in here. We've got a little kitchenette. I'm used to living out of a fridge this size. No beer. Need to rectify that. And we've got a nice shower and a toilet. So I had to laugh when the lady in reception was telling me about the pool. Friends, you know me, there's no way I'm going in the pool. It's 19 today. It's kind of quite nice and sunny and relatively warm, but I don't go in a pool if it's less than 30. Now, of course, we don't have Nigel here to do a Nigel dive, so my challenge is going to be to get one of the other influencers to do the Nigel dive. Not sure how I'm going to go with that. So the tiny houses are all set in this little parkland, and we've got amazing views of the Grampians from here. It was beautiful to go out in the evening and see all of the kangaroos, and we got to experience one of the best sunsets we've seen in the Grampians. We hope you've enjoyed our video guide to the Grampians. For more beautiful Victorian scenery, check out our adventures in this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.